Deep down, we all long for the same thing, don't we? To feel seen, heard, understood, and loved. That's at the heart of true intimacy, but intimacy is more than this. It's also vulnerability, openness, honesty, a shared presence. And I think this longing to be accepted is universally hardwired into us as human beings. And yet, if it's so natural, why does intimacy often feel so difficult? Why do we often feel inadequate, alone, disconnected, afraid? Just think for a moment. Where in your life do you feel a lack of connection right now? I bet we've all got it somewhere. And the truth is, what gets in the way isn't intimacy itself, but it's our fear of it. Because intimacy means showing our whole selves. And let's face it, we are all hiding 1,000,001 things about ourselves if we're honest. And we're not only doing it from others, but we're doing it from us as well, ourselves. And intimacy risks showing that we are not perfect. We daren't be our true selves in case we're rejected. But where does this come from? Well, it comes from our childhood. We've learned since childhood to hide those imperfections, to behave a certain way so that we're loved, and to bury the parts of us that we feel weren't acceptable. At school, at work, and in our general culture, there's a clear message that we're not okay as we are. So we learn to hide. But, as I think we know, hiding doesn't work. What we bury doesn't disappear, it actually festers, it grows. And those denied parts, they become our shadow. And they weigh us down. They make us ill. They fuel our stress, anxiety, fear, procrastination, self-sabotage. So we keep up our defences. We can do this even with people where we've known for decades because a bit of distance feels safer than risking rejection. So just notice, what parts of yourself do you tend to hide from others? Maybe even from yourself. But what if the real work isn't defending or hiding, but it's actually accepting? To truly accept ourselves in totality. The beautiful parts, the messy parts, the animalistic parts, and even the parts that we're ashamed of. And because everyone is doing this hiding dance to some degree. I used to believe everyone else was happier, more confident, more sorted in their life, more comfortable with themselves than me. But most of us are protecting ourselves. You know, we're terrified of being exposed as not good enough, not lovable. But in reality, we're all this delicious mess of confidence and insecurity. We can look put together on the outside, but inside it can be complete chaos. And at the heart of it all, every human being longs to be loved and accepted just for who they are. And that's what feels so vulnerable to admit. But when we start to fully accept ourselves, the fear of intimacy begins to dissolve. And I've been learning this deeply through intimacy courses I'm doing and direct experience, and through a new relationship that I'm in that's inviting me into greater honesty and vulnerability. And what I really see now is that intimacy begins with me, myself. My ability to be close to another is a direct reflection of how intimate I'm willing to be with me, how honest with me. And just think, what would change in your relationships if you accepted more of yourself first? What if you choose to do this inner work? How would this improve your whole life? And another thing that gets in the way is our clinging to permanence. We want life to be safe and consistent. We want to control it. We want to promise, I'll love you forever. Please love me forever. But deep down, we know nothing in this life is certain, not even tomorrow. All we truly have is this moment of love, right here, right now. And when we deny that reality, we suffer. But when we embrace it, we can give ourselves totally to the present moment. And that's where joy is found. So can you think of someone you love right now? And what would happen if you simply allowed yourself to love them fully in this moment without worrying about what's going to happen in the future, this forever. And this is the secret. Once you bring awareness to the parts of yourself that you've been hiding, once the unconscious is brought into the light, those parts can finally be integrated. And when that happens, you become lighter, you become freer, your defenses soften, and your consciousness can expand. And the parts of you that once needed protecting, they don't need to hide anymore. And if you choose to live with openness, honesty, and intimacy, first with yourself and then with others, you can create a paradise around you. And if you stay hidden and defensive, life can feel like hell. Because heaven and hell, they aren't places outside of us. They are right here. They are states within us. And they are a doorway between them and intimacy. So the question is, how intimate are you willing to be with yourself? And if you'd like support on this path, whether through one-to-one sessions or just by simply staying connected with me, then you can find all my details down in the description to this video. And it's important to know that we don't have to do this alone, and to really remember that other people might look like they've got all their stuff sorted, but if we're honest, every single one of us is denying parts of ourselves, and that affects our whole life.